Hi, welcome back to the Sprinter build. Today at long last we're going to be putting these Fan-Tastic fans in the roof. This particular model I hunted high and low for. I wanted these because of their features. This is the 3350 model. It's not the top of the range, but it has got lots of features. You struggle to get these in Britain though. I had to get these from America and get them shipped over. It did cost me extra shipping, and the taxman had his wedge out of it as well. So they were a little bit expensive, but actually cheaper than I can buy them here. I'll run through a few of the features for you. It's got 3 speeds. It's got an extract and supply switch, so I can make the air come into the van or extract the air out of the van. It's got a thermostat which will turn the fan on and off on temperature. It's got a manual knob to wind the lid up, but it's also motorised. So when the fan comes on, the lid automatically opens and then the fan comes on. And then lastly, which is really clever, is what I wanted, on the top of this unit, it's got this rain sensor here. So if the lid is open and it starts to rain, any water that gets on this little strip here, the lid shuts and the fan switches off. So it's got some really great features there. And with 2 fans on the roof, I can put one on supply, one on extract, and get a really good circulation through the van. So these are going to be brilliant. Let's get them installed. Here's the first of our Fan-Tastic fans that we're going to install in the roof of the Sprinter. Obviously when we cut a hole in the roof, it's going to leave us with a very thin sheet steel metal edge with not a lot of strength to it. So I've made these timber frames which I'm going to secure on the underside of the roof, and that will just help to support that metal edge. That will give me a bit of strength. And then there's a finished trim which comes with the fan, which will go on from underneath, and then that'll finish that off nicely. And then we can screw securely from top and bottom into this bit of timber and have a really nice solid fastening. I've used this timber frame just to mark the corners of where I want to do the cutout, and then now I've got those marked, I'm just going to drill a pilot hole and then I'll do the cutting when I'm up on the roof. Little tip while you're cutting the hole in the roof, to prevent those metal chips from just flying everywhere and you're having a massive clear up job, I've just taped a black bag to the underside of the roof just to catch them all. Holes are drilled in the roof now. I've just put a bit of duct tape on the bottom of my jigsaw. Hopefully that will prevent a few scratches on the roof. Oh, I didn't turn that. And just take a small metal file and just clean up these edges. I've used a really fine tooth saw, so they are very good anyway. What I've got now is some Sika primer. This is not cheap, but this is excellent stuff. I'll wipe over the surface with this and it'll clean off any debris and it'll give me a really good surface for the silicone and the mastic strip to stick to it. It'll make sure that there's no dirt or debris, and it'll clean the surfaces off, and then it'll actually evaporate and leave me with a bone dry surface. You didn't think I'd pass up the opportunity. I've cut a hole in my van. I've got to stick my head through it, haven't I? When you're doing anything on the roof of your van that requires it being waterproof and it's got a little bit of flexibility, this is the stuff you need. Purposely designed for caravans. I'm going to put a small bead around this frame, and then I'm going to clamp it up onto the underside of the roof. That's got the frame clamped with the Sikaflex. Give that a couple of minutes just to go off, although it's really stuck already. To make up the gaps between the ridges on the roof, we're going to use this mastic sealing strip. This is about 2.5mm thick, so I just need to build it up in layers. I'm going to probably put about 3 layers on altogether. This stuff is really sticky and it just moulds like plasticine. You can see the layers of mastic sealing tape built up there to the same level as the ridges on the roof. I put a bead of Sikaflex around the fan just before we put it on the roof, just to take any irregularities out of the sealing tape. I'm using a self-drilling screw. These have got like a drill point on them, so I don't need to drill pilot holes. These will drive themselves right through the skin of the roof and into the wood. Fan's all screwed down now, so just left to run a bead of silicone around the outside. You don't need loads of it. I've seen tons of people put way too much on there. Just a nice little neat bead. That's the mastic done round the edge and smoothed off. Just need to put a little bit of Sikaflex on each of these screw heads. That's both of the Fan-Tastic fans installed on the roof of our Sprinter. That's a good day's work. What really impressed me today were these little mastic shapers. Never used them before. Gave us a really nice smooth joint. Well impressed with those. Everything that I've used today, I'll put some links in the description below, so if you want to purchase them yourself, you'll find them down there. I really look forward to receiving your comments. I've had some great feedback, and thanks very much for taking the time to do that. Don't forget, if you're subscribed, click the little bell symbol and then you'll get a notification as soon as I upload the next part of this build series. Thanks very much for watching. Catch you soon. Cheers.